Okay, guys, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Right. Okay. Right. So, guys, we are into additional session today, and because we started the marketing mix strategies, and we were talking about what do you call the distribution strategies, uh, not last week, week before, connecting with the assignment, and last week we were talking about another strategy, the product-related strategies in um, marketing mix. And today I'll be taking you all through the pricing strategy. This slide I shared with you all last week, and take that also with you all. And before I start that, now it's 7:10. So I mean, you all have any questions with the previous session and even the assignment? Quickly, I can't take much time on it. Assignment and the previous sessions. We have very limited time, so we will be speeding up with a couple of additional sessions. So you all have any questions, because your assignment is getting due fast. So any question related to the assignment? Some wanted me to discuss regarding the assignment also. Anyone?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
This is Jerome here.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify this first part according to the assignment draft guideline you gave us.
Okay.
Actually, you have indicated a introduction to the organization and brand. There, I think we have to talk about the brand, what we are trying to launch, and what is the organization it is related with. And after that, the second point, you have split it into 4 points. So that also we have to identify the local and international brands which is available in the market, and we have to indicate the local, I mean the major player in the local market means the local producing coffee brand, I think we have to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and how
like this. It's like this now. This content is this content page is a draft for your
okay.
support, right? And what you all have to explain, you all don't have to bring each and every heading separately, but you all have to cover those areas in your
Okay.
things.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You can't just talk about only international brands without talking about the local brands now. So those things should be there. You have to justify, okay, the local brands are there, so how strong they are in the local market, and what is the target market and the target audience they are catering to, and all these things. Because you can talk about all the international brands, right? Even you can talk about Starbucks coming into Sri Lankan market and do things, right? But what about the Sri Lankan context? Okay, what will happen to brands like Haris Chandra, which has been there for many years in the market? So, and how strong they are in the market, and why Sri Lankan market is attracted to the coffee brand, and I mean international brands attracted to Sri Lankan market. And sometimes that could be the reason of Sri Lankan brands. So you have to talk about those areas. So I honestly can't remember the exact content that I shared with you all. So I had to look it back, right?
Okay.
Let me
So
see.
then all these points we have to cover it within 250 words, no, sir? That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
little difficult task.
No, because it's like now actually, what now when you really look at this, the way I have designed the content is mainly to focusing on the assignment, right? So if they have vast certain area to cover with given limit, so once you take subheadings, let me say take the assignment. I have saved it. Give me 1 minute. Let me see the assignment. Okay, this is what I have given you all. I said overview of the coffee market in Sri Lanka and the local international brands, major players in local market coffee. Now it's like this. Now when you talk about, you don't have to write paragraphs and paragraphs. So under each point you can have 2-3 lines. Fair enough.
Okay.
You don't have to write paragraph because you have to stick to the cream out of the whole cake. Don't bring the whole cake in it, right? So you don't have to bring the icing out of the whole cake. Remember, මොකද අපි මුළු කේක් ගෙඩියම මෙතන පෙන්නලා වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒ කේක් ගෙඩිය ඕන කරන අවශ්‍යම කරන පාර්ට් එක තමයි අපි පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ මෙතන. Right?
Okay.
ඒ detail ටික ගේන්න. එතකොට the value of breaking into separate subheadings, then you can easily justify taking about 2-3 lines. So now as an example I will take let's take one better market. Okay. Overview of the coffee market. Now, major players in local market, right? And then you can say we have identified, okay, you can say we have identified Harish Chandra as one of the leading coffee brand in Sri Lankan context, and they have been there in the market for longer period. On top of that, we see some of the followers, the small time brands that are coming up like this. And size of the market anyway we talk about at the introduction. So local brands ගැන පේලි තුනක් විතර ලියන්න.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And how coffee promoted through channels. Then you can say, okay, we have identified channels කියලා කිව්වම we are talking about the distribution channels here, right? Now we can say most of the local brands are promoted through general trade, modern trade, and the other retail points, including hotels and the restaurants. And ඒ විදියට ඒ විස්තර ටික, let's say, and premier coffee, I'm okay, leading coffee brands such as Harish Chandra in local context, right? International, most of the international coffee brands are promoted only through the general modern trade and specialized outlets like coffee centers. So ඔන්න ඔය විදියට තමයි ලියවෙන්න ඕනේ, right? Examples දෙකක් විතර දාන්න, right? එතකොට දැන් උදාහරණයක් විතර මොනවා හරි international coffee brand එකක් තියෙනවා, ඒක අපිකෝ එකේ නෑ, but they are in Spa, Super and where the Glowmark. You can say these coffee brands are not available. They are mainly focusing on a different segment, and that is why they have focused only on the modern trade and they are not even touching the general trade. අන ඒ ටික තමයි proof එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. පැහැදිලිද? ඔතන paragraph ලියන්න යන්න එපා.
Understood. Thank you.
No worries. Any more questions? Good that you asked that question. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Hari, now assignment එක මල්ලගෙන ඉඳලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. අන්තිම assignment එක කරලා exam එක fail වුණොත් එහෙම ඉවරයි. Now you have another assignment to do, right? Right. So guys, we are entering into the pricing one. Okay. Now pricing also, you have a bit of a good weightage, and you will get about 3 to 4 questions from the pricing model in your maybe 3 to 2 to 3 questions you might get from pricing model, right? So make sure you are comfortable with it. A little bit of mathematics there. Small calculations like break even might come, you know, body ratio calculation එකක් ඒ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න ඒ වගේ දේවල් ටිකක්. But anyway, that area will be covered through the mathematics part with PL sir. So then we'll look at whatever the strategies related to pricing over here, and make sure you guys are okay. And who have not done the what you call practice test. We have released 2 for you all for time being, and we will be releasing 1 more by end of next week, like once we complete this part. So once we complete the marketing mix, we have to do marketing planning part. That is one of the crucial area which will be sales planning and the marketing planning part. So that will be one of the crucial area which you will get a higher depth with so much of theories and the models like that. So that area also which is very important, and make sure you guys are okay. Once we completed that area, the forecasting, budgeting and the marketing planning, දෙක ඉවර කරාට පස්සේ we will be having another what you call mock paper. ඔය දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ කරා වගේ එකක්. එතකොට ඒකත් කරන්න ඊට පස්සේ you will be moving into law side and the mathematics part. After that the session will be done. හරි. එතකොට ඒ ටික comfortable වෙන්න. ඒ ටික comfortable වුණ නැත්නම් you will be in a deep trouble. Right. Okay, moving into pricing. We identified what is a price as per marketing mix. By looking at the marketing mix, we know, okay, price is the element that brings revenue to the organization, but the concern, okay, yeah, it is bringing revenue to the organization, but from the consumer's point of view, මොකද වෙන්නේ customer එක මොකද වෙන්නේ? දැන් අපිට revenue එක කියන පළියට අපිට ඔක වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට right, okay, මේක අපිට මේකෙන් තමයි සල්ලි හම්බ වෙන්නේ කියලා අපිට ඕන විදිහට සෙල්ලම් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? බෑ. දැන් අපිට ඕන විදිහට සෙල්ලම් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් බලන්න අපිට මේකෙන් තමයි සල්ලි හම්බ වෙන්නේ කියලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඕන විදිහට සෙල්ලම් කරලා අද කියලා තියෙන විදිහට පේනවා. So something like that. So in an organization also same, because this is a highly sensitive element in marketing. Highly sensitive elements in marketing mix, because your entire demand and supply curves entire trajectories might change. I don't know, I mean, like in completely weird direction if you do one single mistake in pricing. So you got to be careful. And you know, whoever who have done economics, you know, I mean, like the demand supply curve, the usual pattern in demand supply curve, whether it is elasticity or inelasticity, unitary is not actually the real. It may be elasticity, inelasticity, or whatever you name it. You know what happened when the price goes up, when you know what happened when price goes down. So it is highly sensitive one, and even you can experience that in modern context, current context. You can't say modern context now inside Sri Lanka. The bad context in Sri Lanka. But modern කියන වචන දාන්නත් බෑ ලංකාවේ දැන් යන තත්ත්වය හැටියට. So bad experience what we are facing right now. I mean, you all might have limited your certain expenditure, and even companies have limited their expenditure. Right, and as per the predictions, the way it goes, right, it's not bit of healthy. So and people are limiting themselves into the essentials, and you know what central bank has released, and the foreign reserves are not even limited for 1 week, and our survival is a concern kind of a thing. So I mean, like, unless someone right on top of us brings something, so it will be a crucial period coming future. So everything finally boils down for what? Pricing. So, and on top of that, okay, the price goes up in certain products, and not certain products, almost all the products, the prices are going up just because of, especially when it comes to the imports products, you know, the currency fluctuation. So that is hitting in a bad way for most of the industries. And even the service providers, those who are not even importing products, and those who are not even, I mean, doing any manufacturing, service providers, purely service providers, I mean, purely intangible products, what we were talking about last week, even increase their rates. Why? Because of course they provide a service, but their survival is depending on whatever the expenditure they incur. So they have to increase the rate of their services. So ඔය වගේ තියෙනවා ඉතින් ඔය concern. So this subject, the pricing subject, is highly sensitive subject, and even from the company's point of view, it is affecting directly to the demand of the products which is basically sold in the market. So price, as we were talking about the price, Sandhu, control එක ගන්න එපා. Sandon. Okay, I will take it back. Right. So Sandon moko nidiya ganna kittada. Control එක ගන්නවා එකපාරට. So price is the element. This is the definition. Okay, but the amount of money charged for a product or service, the sum of money, the total value.
So the
Customer.
slide, excuse me.
Yeah.
So the
How?
slide is not clear. It's fully black for me. I don't know. It's only with me or with
අනිත්
everyone.
පැත්තත් එහෙමද? මම දැන් ඉන්නේ fourth slide එකේ price slide එක. අනිත් පැත්තත් එහෙමද?
No, sir. Clear.
Kiran, I think
Totally.
something wrong with you.
Yeah, something wrong with my end. Okay, okay.
I ගිහිල්ලා ආව නම් හරි. ගිහිල්ලා කියන්නේ කොහර ගිහිල්ලා ඉතින් log out log out. Right out වෙලා ආයේ.
Okay,
Right.
sorry.
So price is actually the price. Now see the amount of money charged from the amount of money charged for product. Amount of money charged for product, and which means charged from whom? We are charging from the customer, so we got to be careful. And very first few days we were talking about something called perceived value. Value which is pasted in the mindset of the consumer. Perceived value. මේ මෙතන paste වෙච්ච value එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මම මේ පෑනට ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ රුපියල් 1000ක් ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ මම මේ පෑනට because I do value this pen. Maybe since it's a gel pen with kind of a small glittering part, I might pay for about 250 rupees, not more than that. So something like that, right? So මම ඔකට 1000ක් pay කරන්න, which means what? If a seller asks me to pay 1000 rupees, I said no, because it doesn't value me that much. But that doesn't mean I should bargain unnecessarily. Real value we are talking about. The value which is pasted in the mindset we identified as the perceived value. Then the perceived benefit should be delivered with the money what we paid finally. Otherwise, what will happen? Okay, we might feel අපරාධ මම මේක ගත්තේ. අපරාධ මම මේකට pay කරේ. අපරාධය මේක ගන්න නැතුව මට ඔතන තමයි cognitive dissonance කියන concern එක. කියන්නේ post purchase evaluation එකේදී අපි කියනවා we identify something called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance means how you regret about whatever the decision you have taken in purchasing something. Cognitive dissonance, the word, which means you worried about the product what you have rejected and you worry about the product what you have purchased. අපරාධ මම මේක අරක ගන්න නැතුව මේක ගත්තේ කියන feeling එක එනවා. So that also might come just because of the prices. So it is so sensitive product, sensitive rather element in marketing mix and the overall business context. So you've got to be careful when you're looking at the pricing strategy. And when you look at the pricing strategies, guys, remember there are major components what we need to consider. You can see this one. I mean, when you're looking at pricing, when you're deciding the pricing, you have to consider so many areas. You can't just decide the price, right? අපි හිතමු මට මේ ස්ටික් එක හදන්න රුපියල් 100ක් ගියා කියලා. ඒකෙන් කියන්නේ මම මේ ස්ටික් එක මට රුපියල් 500කට විකුණනවා මං මට මේක හදන්න රුපියල් 100ක් ගියාට සමහර වෙලාවට in real context those who are competing with me might manufacture this for about 2 rupees. So I mean, of course we need to consider product cost, but does it really sense into the market, right? මට මේ සිස්ටම් එකක් නැහැයි කියලිවල මං වැඩි කරාට වැඩක් නැහැ මාකට් එකේ කම්පිටිෂන් එක එහෙම නැත්නම් ඉන්පා වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉන්පා කියලා it doesn't mean that you have to match the same price what your competitor is selling, which is completely wrong. You have separate values and your values are basically catered with a different price. And of course you got to consider the product manufacturing cost, but that does not mean, remember, මේක දාපු ගමන් සමහරලාට කටින product manufacturing cost එක මේ අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ maintain කරන්න industry standard එකට. So if not, we will not be able to do it. Otherwise, unless you have a unique value to justify that manufacturing expenditure, so that you got to focus on. And the other side, you got to focus from the market point of view. right? Manufacturing expenditure point of view, and from the other side, the market point of view. Because you might set a price, if the market is not accepted the price what you set, what will happen? So you will sometimes end up in dead stock. Dead stock එකක we can move නැති inventory එකක් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඉන්න වෙනවා. Then you know what had happened to. I mean, like, okay, I'm not saying exactly the same thing happened in the real market. Cement prices. So the cement prices went up. People decided not to buy, and I mean, how many people got affected with the dead stock, right? ඔය සමහර images නම් දාලා තිබ්බේ fake images ඔය ලොරි පෙල්ලිච්ච ඒවා මේ සිමෙන්ති කොට්ට විසික් කළා කියලා දාලා තිබ්බ images තිබ්බා, so those are fake images, but certain locations got stuck with huge inventories, so people rejected because it's not the price what they can afford, and so because of that ඒකෙන් ගොඩක් දෙයක් වුණේ ආයි පාර ප්‍රයිස් එක අඩු වෙගෙන යන බ්ලොග් ගල් ගන්නවට පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕනේ. කැටගැහිච්ච සිමෙන්ති වලින් තමයි ගොඩක් මිනිස්සු බ්ලොග් ගල් හදලා තියෙන මිනිස්සු බ්ලොග් ගල් හැදුවේ කැටගැහිච්ච සිමෙන්ති වලින්. So those bricks are not strong, guys. Mechanically, okay, මෙතන engineers ලා තියෙනවා. Mechanically those strong, those bricks අර අපි කියන්නේ බ්ලොග් ගල් කියලා වල සිමෙන්ට් ගල් ඒවා strong නෑ. කැටගැහිච්ච සිමෙන්ති වලින් හදන ඒවා, so you have to be careful. Okay, so things are happening like that. So you got to consider the market expectation as well, right? Okay, 633 you have to unmute. Clarence, you have to unmute, not unmute, mute. Not unmute කියන්නේ. Right? So, and you got to look at your competitor market earlier in the competition, like you got to look at. So you got to look at your competitor. That does not mean that you have to match the competitor. No, completely wrong. So you have to justify your price. Very simple. You have to justify your price. Now, as an example, now I will tell you a couple of days back, one of my clients. So my proposal was about 1.7 million for one of the project, and one of my competitor had given it to 900,000, and I said, look here, go ahead and do it with him. And I said, okay, but make sure you get the same thing what is there in my proposal, otherwise no point. And but finally customer said, okay, no, those things are not there, but I mean, this is what they are giving. So then I said, okay, if I give you that offer, I mean, whatever the things he is giving, I can give way below the price what my competitor is offering, but I can't do that by looking at the solution. So you got to justify. Finally, the project came to me. After the gap was about closer to 700,000 rupees. So, I mean, but the project, I got the project. So see, you got to justify the price. Computer අඩුවෙන් දුන්නයි කියලා කවදාවත් අපේ computer වෙන්න අඩුවෙන් විකුණනවා, computer අඩුවෙන් විකුණනවා, අපි ඉවරයි අම්මෝ, අපි දැන් මැරෙන්න යන්නේ, අපි දැන් වැටෙන්න යන්නේ කියලා. You can't do sales like that, guys, right? You have to justify. Always you have to justify. Price එකක් දෙන්න නම් price එකේ තියෙන component වල ඇයි මේක වැඩි, ඇයි මේක අඩු කියන එක justify කරන්න ඕනේ. So even sometimes, okay, when my competitors are with a higher price, when my price is lower than the competitor, I said, okay, just because I can't offer this unit, my product doesn't have, my solutions doesn't have this benefit, so that is why my prices are lesser. So you have to justify. Even in that scenario, you got to justify. Price එක වැඩිද අඩුද කියන එක you should, as a salesperson, justify කරගන්න බැරි නම් වැඩක් නැහැ sales කරලා. ඒකයි computer එක. So computer ගැන දැනගන්න ඕනේ. computer එකේ product එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. computer එකේ solution එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. computer කරන දේ තියෙන වෙනස මොකක්ද කියන එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. Why the computer is lesser than us කියන එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. Why the computer is higher than us කියන එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. What are the good side and the bad side of the computer කියන එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. And that doesn't mean that you follow the computer and set the price. No. But you have to have some kind of an understanding about the market, and then only you can do the price. Otherwise, you can't do. And the other areas you got to look at, okay, your macros and the micros. You got to look at, okay, your marketing environmental perspectives, your political scenarios, right, and your economic condition of the country. You got to set up. And even in current context now, when we are setting prices, so sometimes you might have experience, people those who are into corporate, especially the corporate proposals, the project proposals especially, we are limiting the time validity period of the quotation proposals. Now those days we were comfortable to give 1 month validity period or 3 months validity period. Even certain prices we validate for 1 year. In certain large scale projects we have validated certain even for, I mean, multi-million projects, we have validated prices for 2 years in certain. I'm talking about a few years back scenarios. But in current context, you can't do that. You might limit even for 2 days, 3 days validity. Or else you have to change your terms and conditions. In your general terms and conditions, you have to change in your proposal. So like that, macros are changing. Economic conditions, the political scenarios are influencing the pricing decisions, and let's say the ecological conditions are influencing the pricing decision. What do you mean by the ecological conditions? Ecological conditions in the sense the natural environment. Natural environment is influencing the pricing decision. Question mark comes. ඒ කොහොමද දෙයනේ මේ වැස්සයි කියලා price එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? වැස්සයි වහින එක price එකට influence. වහින එක price එකට influence වෙනවා. උදාහරණයක් drought එක, if you can recall your memories for a couple of years back, what happened to the wheat production in the global wheat production because of the USA drought? USA වල ආපු නියගේ හින්දා 30% 30 to 40% of the wheat production තිරුඟු පිටි production එකේ 140කට ප්‍රමාණයක් down ගියා. Production එක නැතුණා. What happened to the market price? Price went up. And even when you really look at in electronic industry, communication industry, telecommunication industry, especially electronic and telecommunication industry, if you really look at, and even the consumer electronic industry, you see this lightning monsoon period, right? AC prices goes down because less demand. Companies want to push products somehow, so less demand. A monsoon period එක ඇතුළතේ වැඩිපුර move වෙනවා මොනවාද? Dryers, okay, so heaters, so kind of a thing. So AY prices වැඩි වෙනවා. එතකොට අනිත් devices වල prices අඩු වෙනවා. Telco products, if you really look at, if someone is there in the telco industry here, due to lightning, the demand increase, right? For telco devices, the demand increase in the corporate sector. So what happened? I mean, since the demand increase, suppliers are increasing the price, you know. So things are happening like that. Even the natural environment affecting. Now another example, if I take, okay, I mean previously we were not experiencing something called tsunami, and now even the insurance policies are talking about tsunami and increase a price a bit, and flood price a bit when they cover their policies. I mean with the flood, they increase the price. So something like that. So natural condition, and even the political conditions. So I mean, let's say terrorism and all kind of things we can't control at all. So the prices are increased. Terrorism coverage prices are increased. I mean, so those things are there. So every natural environmental, every man-made concerns are affecting the final pricing, at least at a minute level, even in consumer products where you don't feel it. But even in minute level, it might go up. And macro, like, okay, we were talking about economy, we were talking about policy, we were talking about, let's say, natural environment, and you talk about even the technology. Technology is influencing the pricing. අලු ටෙක්නොලොජි එක කාපු ගමන් පරණ ටෙක්නොලොජි ප්‍රොඩක්ට්ස් වල ප්‍රයිස් එක බූස්ට් කරලා බහිනවා. වැඩක් නැහැ because it's getting outdated fast, so you can't keep it and sell for higher price. I'm not talking about in Sri Lankan context right now. Even I mean, like, you know, the price of laptops and the mobile devices, the technological devices are increased just because of the dollar rate. But comparatively, you can see when you look at the comparative study on the specification wise, when 10 generation comes, the 11 generation comes, the 10 generation prices goes down. So that is how it happens. When technological changes are taking place, the prices goes down. And also, I mean, technological changes, the social media communication made the conventional media price challenging. I mean, conventional media, TV, radio prices drastically then අඩු වෙගෙන යනවා conventional media වල. මොකද companies ගොඩක් social media use කරන හින්දා communications වලට, digital and the conventional platforms. So technology is influencing. And let's say you have imported a highly computerized system where you were using skilled labor, man-made labor for manufacturing purpose, and now you imported a machinery and the machine is doing the job of 20 people at once. So you reduce your cost of manufacturing. So when you reduce your cost of manufacturing, you have an opportunity to go into a wider market with the lesser price, or else you can increase your margin. So you might do slight changes on the pricing. Sometimes you might reduce the price and go for a wider market. So like that, so many things even in the technology, and technology එක දාපු ගමන් සමහරලාට price එක වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Because with the technology, let's say you are using the robotic systems in your manufacturing plant, and I mean, like when you work with the robotic systems and the error rate is very low. අර මිනිස්සු මැෂින් වල වැඩ කරනවා වගේ නෙමෙයි. මොකද අර robots ලට feed කරලා data එකක් දුන්නාම ඒකේ error rate එක එහෙම අඩුයි. එතකොට then error rate is very low, and also the quality is very high because the quality is defined in the system, and the machine itself maintaining that standard to look at the quality. එතකොට quality level එක වැඩි වෙනවා, then you can charge more. So like that, the technology is working in different ways for the price increase or the decrease. So technology and competition, then so things like that, and also your supplier, micro factor, your supply. Computer වගේම your supplier also affecting your pricing decision. Supply කොහොමද affect වෙන්නේ? Now supplier said, okay, if you are dealing with the sole supplier, let's say it's only one supplier for a particular product, and supplier said, look here, I have to increase the price. You have no option for your products manufacturing. You have to incur that cost, or you have to take that cost from the market. So either you have to increase the retail price, or you have to reduce you have to kill your margins, whatever the way. So supply issues. If the supply is so strong, sometimes he might dictate terms on you and say, look here, we have to increase the price, or you have to stick to this condition. Now, let's say international brands, when it comes into the market, so local market, sometimes suppliers said, look here, you can't do extensive price discount promotions in local context because it is affecting our brand equity, the brand reputation, the brand value. So because of that, you have to stick to even at I mean, reduce sales. You have to maintain the brand equity, the brand value, the brand reputation, the brand personality, and everything. So you have to hold those prices. You can go slightly below the MRP, the market related retail price, but not drastically. Here brands වල supplier ගේ brand එකේ තියෙන strength එක ඒගොල්ලෝ maintain කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ discounts වලට යන්නේ නැහැ. Right. So ඒ වගේ conditions තියෙනවා supply එකේ පැත්තෙන් අපි ගත්තොත්. Consumer conditions anyway we were talking about. Computer we were talking about. Channel intermediary as an example. Channel intermediary in the sense the middlemen. අතරමැදියෝ කියන එක we were talking about. Okay, direct indirect distribution operation we were talking about. So ඒගොල්ලොම බලපානවා pricing වලට. ඒගොල්ලොම බලපානවායි කියලා කියන්නේ සමහරලාට channels කියන්න පුළුවන් channel might stop purchasing the product. So if the channel stop purchasing the product, you will get stuck, right? Collective decisions sometimes channels might take, remember, right? So and I wonder whether I have shared this story with you all. One of the companies where we are working with, and when I was talking to these people, and they said the sales goes down. I said, can't be. This is a product actually which should be moved into the market at this condition. I'm saying the story for about 4 to 6 months story. So when we were consulting, even I couldn't figure out the real reason why. Even I couldn't figure out initially. Then we were taking a meeting with the sales managers and the sales staff. Then only we could realize the real reason. And this company was trying to fake the price with the channel intermediaries, and channel intermediaries, the middlemen, අතරමැදියෝ collectively decision එකක් කරන් තියෙනවා මේ company එකෙන් ගන්න නැහැ කියලා. Reputation which they have built over a period. I don't want to mention the company here. Reputation which they have built over a period, right, vanished, disappeared, and dealers ලා කතා වෙලා තියෙනවා නෑ ගන්න නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝගේ so they had increased the price for the stock which was available unethically to the channel market. So they have taken a collective decision not to not to purchase from that particular supplier. So they have got stuck with this, and they kill the reputation, they kill the relationship, and there was a huge impact for the company and the sales rep and the dealer relationship. So got affected. So I mean, we identified it's very difficult to overcome that type of issues because they feel the company is cheating them. So දැන් මම ඩීල් කරනවා නම් මගේ සප්ලයර් කෙනෙක් එක්ක මට ෆීල් වෙනවා නම් මගේ සප්ලයර් මට චීට් කරනවායි කියලා I might stop slowly reduce and I might look parallelly another supplier and I will completely cut off that supplier very soon. Because if I feel my supplier is cheating us, why should I keep the supply? Because that trust should be there. Same thing happened. It's so difficult now for that company to come up and build that rapport. Price discount කරනවා අර price එකේ වාසියට here and there පොඩ sales දැන් වැඩි වෙගෙන යනවා but I mean it's very difficult. So and they even fail to identify the reason, and until we got into the scenario and we started the discussion with the entire team, only realize, right? මොකද අර ඒ වගේ දේවල් channel intermediaries ලා කිව්වොත් reject කරා. So they are influencing because channel intermediary also one type of customer. We need to look at, okay, what are the things that are influencing the pricing? Your internal policies are influencing pricing decisions. So sometimes, let's say, company policy, okay, minimum with 20% NP, you don't do a sale. Kira policy ka company ke gain puluwa. Right? So with that, Jerome, your camera is on, right? So with that, you might have a different price level. So policy එක තියෙන්න පුළුවන් අපි මේ margin එක තියාගෙන තමයි යන්නේ. Distributor ට මේ margin එක තමයි දෙන්නේ. Retailer ට මේ margin එක තමයි දෙන්නේ. Wholesaler ට මේ margin එක තමයි දෙන්නේ. Policy decisions are taken on certain brands. So ඒ අනුව pricing change වෙනවා. So like that, many things are there that are affecting the price. What you got to understand, it is not only the cost of the product or cost of the manufacturing is influencing the pricing. Then local manufacturing නැතුව අපි imports කරනවා කියලා හිතමුකෝ logistic. My goodness, then මේ දවස්වල logistic issues, I mean to say the pricing have gone 400%, right? වෙනදා cubic meter එකකට අපි දෙනවා නම් container load එක cubic meter එකකට ඝන meter එකකට අපි ගෙවන්නේ $, අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විතර 250යි නම් now you have to pay $1,000 for that cubic meter from the container capacity. එතකොට it's huge. Macroeconomic conditions, global economic conditions are influencing the price decision. The global economic conditions, if you all can remember, එකපාරක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති Suez Canal got blocked and entire shipping line, the nautical the line was changed because of that, and the number of nautical miles basically increase, the distance that they travel increase. ඒතකොට logistics වල cost වැඩි වුණා ඒක. ඔය වගේ එක reasons තියෙනවා මේ cost එක වැඩි වෙන්න, price එක වැඩි වෙන්න, price එක change වෙන්න. ඒතර හැමතිස්සෙම මතක තියාගන්න. Product එක manufacturing cost එක විතරන්නේ මේ price එක change වෙන්නේ. Survival එකට price එක change වෙන්න පුළුවන්. company එකක් හිතන්න පුළුවන් මම මේ වෙලාවේ survive වෙන්න ඕනේ නම් price එක අඩු කරලා products ටික විකුණලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. Liquidity issues එන්න පුළුවන් company එකට liquidity issues. ද්‍රවශීලතාවය කියලා කියන එකනේ liquidity සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ cash conversion ratio in right. So because of that, the people might discount the product and sell it to increase the cash flow. Financial objectives එන්න පුළුවන් pricing decisions වලට. Financial objectives එන්න පුළුවන් right අපේ debtors වැඩි, right? අපේ debtors වැඩි, අපේ මෙතන inventory එක වැඩි. නමුත් අපේ cash flow එක නැහැ company එක ඇතුලේ, liquidity එක නැහැ company එක ඇතුලේ. එහෙනම් අපේ intention එක තියෙන cash flow එක වැඩි කරන්න. company එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන day to day expenditure run කරන cash නැහැ company එක ඇතුලේ. එහෙනම් අපේ objective එක day to day expenditure ටික run කරන cash කරන pricing අඩු කරලා ඉවරලා මිනිස්සුන්ව motivate කරන්න පුළුවන් immediately pay කරන්න. debtors ලට data discounting කරන්න පුළුවන්. Let's say as example debtors ලට කියන්න පුළුවන් right ඔයගොල්ලෝ වේලාසනින් pay කරොත් අපි 1% 2% discount එකක් දෙනවා. ඒක අරගෙන ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉක්මනට payment කරන්න. So like that there are many things you got to consider when it comes for pricing decisions. එතන cost එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි කියන එක මතක තියාගන්න. Right? So any question there? Any question? මම ඒකට පොඩි time එකක් ගත්තා මේ දේවල් ටිකක් කියන්න සමහර කට්ටියට ඔය practically අහුවෙන්නේ නැති හින්දා. And when you are setting up the price, any question, guys? Any questions?
Excuse me, I'm Iran here.
Yeah, okay.
I have personal concern on this pricing. It's something like this. Wait, it's repeating to echo in my. Yeah. So now when it comes to business pricing, if we take like wholesale and retail, there are two ways. Like in my business, I do my pricing. It's like maybe a fixed margin, profit margin, or I go for a percentage margin. Okay. So when this cost, all the fabric and everything, the cost is going up, I am finding a bit difficult to like make the price. And if I go for a percentage margin, the product price is going really high. Okay.
Can you give me one thing? What do you mean by the fixed margin and the percentage margin?
Okay, let's say if I take a product and I keep like, okay, for wholesale I keep 400 rupees, for retail I keep like 750 rupees. So it's like that. That is a fixed margin if I'm keeping. But if I go for the percentage, let's say for the wholesale I do 30% margin, and for retailers I do 45% margin. So in that case, with this pricing and everything, all the material pricing goes up. If I go for the percentage margin thing, the product price is going drastically high, which is like I doubt whether it will move in the market. So in that case, I also have confusion whether to go for a fixed rate or a percentage wise margin setting up. What would be your advice on this?
Yeah, it's like this now. Fixed rate in the sense, okay, you are talking about, the absolute value, right? Fixed rate කියලා කියන්නේ absolute value එක මේ percentage එකක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ නැතුව, right? අපි හිතමු මේ එක reel එකකට මම එනම් මෙච්චර ගාණක් තියා ගන්නවා. percentage එකක් කියලා හිතන්නේ නැහැ. එක reel එකකට මෙච්චර ගාණක් තියාගෙන විකුණනවා කියන එක. But in financial perspectives, the financial point of view, it's a short-term strategy, but short-term strategy for your survival purpose, you might go ahead with that and do it. But for a long term, when it comes to financial perspectives, you have to look at, okay, whether you are making enough margins as a proper, because you are doing a business. Okay, why we do a business? We do a business at least to earn money more than the saving interest. No, අපිට ලක්ෂයක් savings වලට දාලා ඉවරලා ඒකෙන් 15000ක් ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද එනවයි කියලා කියන්නේ ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද එනවා නම් ඒතර බිස්නස් එකට දැම්මහම ඉන්නේ 5000යි නම් අපිට බිස්නස් එකට දානකොට සේව් කරන එක ලාභයිනේ, right? So why we are doing a business to earn more than the saving interest? So that is a real term. So whatever the fixed rate, if you talk about, you can go ahead, but it's not a long-term strategy. It's not a long-term strategy, but just to get rid of your inventory, just to survive as a survival strategy during this condition, as a survival strategy, you can go ahead with the fixed rate. But in real context, it is not a healthy long-term approach. So what you can do, reduce the percentage and keep it, because then it is visible and you don't have two different calculations in it. And of course you have one margin for dealer. As an example, the wholesaler, okay, from your cost, you keep a hypothetical figure, you keep 10% and sell for wholesaler, you keep 20% and sell for retailer. And what happened then, if you directly sell, you have that margin. If you sell it to the wholesaler, you have that margin. And what we have seen, and the other, this is bit of a I'm not saying unethical, but bit of a different strategy, I might say. If you are this is the time you have to make your retail point stronger. Retail point stronger in the sense, now for certain companies, what I have asked them, demotivate dealers this period. ඒ කියන්නේ resellers ලව demotivate කරන්න. මේ කාලේ වැඩි volumes ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ඉස්සර 100ක් දුන්නා නම් wholesaler ට දැන් ඒක 50ක් කරන්න අඩු කරන්න. ඉතුරු 50 ඔයා margin කරන්න retail market එකේ. Then you have the product, but you can't kill the market because your survival is should be there. And what do? You try to increase retail selling more than the dealer selling, but you got to make sure you maintain the dealers also, because the moment the market become neutral, then it will I mean, you need to again reuse the resellers. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලෝගේ retail presence එක වැඩි කරගත්තොත් එතනදී අපිට margin එකේ pressure එක අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්, but bit of a additional effort. That additional effort is justified by the margin. You get what I'm saying? එතකොට ඒ දෙක strong කරගෙන balance කරගෙන යනවා මිසක් fixed rate එකට යනවායි කියන එක short term strategy එකක්. මම දන්න finance වලින් සහ sales related forecasting budgeting වලින් ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් short term strategy එකක්. Right? So you better consult. I mean, even it's like this now. Even I'm consulting financial consultants these days to take certain decisions. මොකද අපි දන්න financial limits සමහර වෙලාවට business එක ඉස්සරහට ගෙනියන්න බෑ. So right after this session, even today, I'm having a meeting with one of the financial consultants just to get a financial perspectives, how to manage those areas. මොකද අපි sales වලින් consult කරන level එක ඒ කියන්නේ financial limit එක සමහර වෙලාවට මේ වගේ economic condition එකකදී අපි ගන්න decisions සහ financial එකකින් එන inputs එක අපේ decisions change වෙන්න පුළුවන්. You get what I'm saying? So මොකද අපිට සමහර වෙලාවට අපි by looking at our naked eye, we might say, okay, it's 1% drop in our margin, but we never know how it is financially, mathematically calculated, and based on whatever the financial related formulas, and that which will hit our business in long run. You know, so ඒ හින්දා ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ මේකෙන් ගන්න එකට වඩා මේ වෙලාවේ, right, taking a advice from a financial consultant, it's good, but in forecasting and budgeting, what we know, but going into a fixed rate is not healthy. It's only for a short term strategy, not for a long term. Anyway,
it's kind of going to be challenging when it comes to facilities with the bank as well, because banks are always inquiring what is your percentage, profit margins, and everything. So because they are checking whether if they finance us or facilitator, whether we are able to return it back with their interest rates and everything. Exactly. So there's a challenge on that as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, I mean, like, why you are doing a business in simple terms, guys. You all also, others also should know this. I mean, අපිට රුපියල් අපිට 115ක as an example, hypothetical figure again, if you are getting a 15% margin from a bank, why we are keeping why we keep our money at a risk and put it into a business and get less than the savings interest. තේරුම් ගන්න. එහෙනම් අපි save කරලා ඉවරලා savings interest එක ගන්නවනේ කොට. එහෙනම් අපි බලන්නේ savings interest එකට වඩා වැඩි ගාණක් ඒ අරගන්නනේ මේ risk එකත් එක්ක. So you got to understand that. ඉතින් banks වලින් බලන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ratios, your ratios, financial ratios. They are looking at what is your debtor ratio, what is your creditors ratio, what is your return on investment ratio, what is your fixed asset ratio, what is your current asset ratio. මොන ratios ටික බලපු ගමන් bank එක දන්නවා මූගේම ගහන්න පුළුවන් එකෙක්ද බැරි එකෙක්ද මූට loan එක දීලා bank එක හිර වේද නැද්ද කියන එක. So දන්නවා ඔය ratio financial ratios ටිකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ ටික බලපු ගමන් දැන් ඒකයි ඒතර ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා banks වලින් advice කරන සමහරවිට good banks, I'm not saying, okay, good banks, they said okay මේ විදිහට කරන්න බෑ මේ විදිහට කරනවා නම් so we are okay to do it කියලා බලන්න. Right. And guys, one more thing I will tell you. When a bank said no, demand, right? I will tell one example. One of the bank top-rated banks, which is coming under global 1,000 top-rated banks, rejected one of my requests very recently. Not even last month, right? I said, if you are rejecting my request, you have to justify. And when I was talking to the manager lady said, Mr. Vitunga, you have to write us in. You have to send us in writing. Then I said, okay, it's a good this thing, right? Because I'm sending in writing, so they have to respond in writing. So then they were taking a couple of days. I was calling the lady. That was the first time I started dealing with this bank. though the accounts were there and we were not basically utilizing their systems. And I said I was talking with it, and I was waiting for about 2 to 3 days, right? And I was calling that lady and asked, hey, look here, what happened to my request? And it nothing is happening. I didn't get any response from your one or the head office level. What happened? කියලා මං ඇහුවා. ඇහුවාම මේ lady කිව්වා පොඩ්ඩක් දෙන්න මිස්ටර් විරුතුංග මං අද හවස get back කරන්න කියලා. I said, okay. I thought I mean she will go positive. But the tone I felt, okay, something negative was taken. And this lady called me in the evening and said, Mr. Virutunga, I'm really sorry. Your accounts parnai thamai namuth operate wela නැති හින්දා head office level එක මේක reject කරනවා අපිට මේ facilities යන්න විදියක් නැහැ. I said, okay, මට ඔය ටික in writing එවන්න. Guys, right? මොන bank වල හරි බයයි in writing මේ respond එකක් දෙන්න. මම දන්නේ I don't know whether the bankers are here. Previous batch there were a couple of bankers. මම දන්නේ මෙතන bankers ලා ඉන්නවද කවුරුද? Bankers ලා ඉන්නවද? හරි බයයි.
I was a bank as well, sir.
Right, in writing respond karna hari bayai, right? I said, okay, look here, right, okay, it's perfectly okay, send me that in writing, but you have to mention the reason for rejection. You can't just say rejected, but you have to mention whatever the reason for rejection, then I will take the action from my side. Then no, we don't do like that. Then I said, okay, what are your ethics? Ethically, you wanted me to request in writing, and as a customer, I'm demanding in writing. So you have to do it, otherwise I'm going to take actions. Then they were taking the next day, and I sent a reply. I'm waiting for a reply. I mean, I didn't get any response from your bank. Please respond fast. Komari discussion එක ගිහලා පළ ඊට පහුවෙන්ද මේල් එක දැම්මට පස්සේ things got approved. And manager said, Mr. Virutunga වගේ request එක අපි approve කරලා තියෙනවා. You can proceed. So guys, demand. And they were okay incident. දෙවෙනි incident එක it happened few days back, right? මට මේ කියන්න බෑ මොකද company එක කියලා. මම online යම්කිසි දෙයක් මේ කියන්නේ online කියලා කියන්නේ product එකක් නෙමෙයි. මම යම්කිසි internet I was basically demanding something from to get online things done, and it was a name, right? And they said, no, we are really sorry, this name is an internationally recognized name, and okay, it came, right? So we are not in a position to release it. I said, you all have to justify the reason, and you all have to justify the reason, and you all have to reason out with documents to prove that this name is not this name is not allocated me because of these reasons. Then I was waiting. No. Then I replied the mail asking, okay, why, and prove me before I send you the letter of demand. Then only they responded and said, look here, we have granted the facility for you. Guys and girls, remember, බැංකු වෙන්න පුළුවන්, සර්විස් ප්‍රොවයිඩර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේක කරන්න බෑයි කියපු වෙලාවට එක පාටම අත්හරින්න එපා. ඇත්තද මේක කරන්න බෑද? You have a right to demand. And I will tell even from the government departments, right? Sometime back when I was, this scenario was in 2005-6 වගේ scenario එකක්, right? So provincial those days when we were very small business, I went personally to the company name registration ordinance in which was there in Union Place by that time in 2000, not 2005, 2002 or 3. And they rejected my request and said, you have to go somewhere else to get this registration done. I said, no, your office is a provincial office. Provincial office is responsible for the entire province. You have to do it. Government department එකක් කියලා උනත්, guys, remember, but when you're arguing, you all have to argue with the facts, right? මම එතනට කියලා කිව්වා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ provincial office එක කියලා කියනවා නම් province එකටම බල responsible මේක province එකටම responsible නම් you have to do this job කියන්නේ. So ඒ කොයි තැනකින් reject කරත් පුතා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ request එක remember one thing rejection එක in writing ඉල්ලන්න ඇයි reject කරන්න කියන හේතුව සහ demand කරන්න valid facts එක then you can get things done. අපේ මිනිස්සු හරි සරලයි බෑ මේක කරන්න බෑ කියලා කියන්නේ. මොකද අපේ මිනිස්සු අපේ ඉන්න සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සු හරි නිවටයි මේක කරන්න බෑයි කියලා කියපුවම ඇත්තද? මොකද බැංකු මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් ඉස්සරහා දන ගහනවා ගිහිල්ලා. right? දොස්තර කෙනෙක් ඉස්සරහා දන ගහනවා කියලා. මොකද්ද මේක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? You don't have to do like that. You're paying something because each and every seat of that particular company is paid by you guys and us, right? දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ බැංකුවක රුපියල් 10ක් නම් තියෙන්නේ ඒ රුපියල් 10 ඔයාගේ. එහෙනම් ඒ රුපියල් 10න් ඒගොල්ලෝ ප්‍රයෝජනයක් අරගෙන තියෙනවා. ඒකෙනුත් යම්කිසි කොටසක් ඔය හැම පුටුවකටම ගෙවන්න යනවා. So you have a right to demand. Guys, remember, ඉතින් justify කරන්න demand එක and don't go into arrogant and demand and justify professionally in writing, then you can get things done. ඉතින් මම හැමතිස්සෙම කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට companies වල සමහර වෙලාවට මේ දේ කරන්න බෑයි කියලා කියපු ගමන් and another incident telecommunication regulation I openly criticize, right? TCRCSL. So then I got down, this happened before COVID, and there were a couple of long range antennas what I had to bring down, were high power antennas, and TRCSL rejected my this thing, and by that time the shipment was in Colombo port and custom hold just because of the frequency range. And I requested from TCRCSL, and they said, no, we can't. Who authorized you to bring? I said, no, we have a requirement, and you need to get this done. Otherwise, that was for a hotel which was in eastern part. I can't remember the exact location, where SLT can't lay fiber cables. So my solution basically take data and voice for about 5 kilometers inside the area through antennas, long range antennas. But TCRCSL, telecommunication regulation technology කතා කරන companies ලංකාවේ තියෙන reject කරා. Justify කරන්නේ කිව්වා reasons ටික. So they were talking about defense signal and all this. And we were talking to where the Arthur C. Clarke Center, and we were talking about frequency range and everything, and we got a letter from them, but they were not basically recommending. They said, okay, they were saying, okay, these are the frequencies. Then after that, we were talking to Telecom, and we were asking whether Telecom can facilitate this, and they said Telecom can't facilitate that area with given condition. Then what we said, okay, with this condition, do you want us to stop the project? Right? Just because of this. Now, Arthur C. Clarke Center letter is there, not validating us, but justifying the scenario. SLT letter was there saying us, I mean, they can't facilitate this project because of the environmental condition. So I was justifying, asking, do you all want this project to hold because of this? Then I had to write a couple of other ministries and get the things done, the approval. So කවදාවත්, right? කවදාවත් මොකක් හරි දෙයක් එකපාරම බැහැයි කියපු ගමන් sales කරන ඕගොල්ලෝ හුරු වෙන්න ඕනේ මේවට. කවුරු හරි මොනවා හරි දෙයක් බැහැයි කියපු ගමන් එකපාරටම අත්හරින්න එපා. Find reasons for them to reject, and rejection වලට reasons හෙව්වට පස්සේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට solutions හම්බ වෙනවා. ඕන දෙයකට උත්තරයක් අපිට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. Very unlikely ඒ වගේ මේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම zero වෙලා අපිට සමහරලාට අත්හරින්න වෙන දේවල්. So but you have to find sales කරනවා නම් පුතේ master වෙන්න ඕනේ. එක දෙයක් මේ ගොබ්බේ වගේ ගිහිල්ලා ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක අංකල් මේක ගන්න සර් මේක ගන්න මේ මුදලාලි මේක ගන්න කියන ලෙවල් එකට යන්න එපා. you all have to work professionally. You all have to learn everything sales කරන මොන ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේදී ඉන්නේ ඒ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එක ගැන මාස්ටර් වෙන්න, then you all can do, right? So I was just sharing one of my couple of my experience. So you all have to do it, otherwise you can't. Right, moving into this pricing approaches. One is the cost-based pricing strategy, we are internal-oriented pricing strategy, and the other one, the value-based pricing strategy, we are look from the market perspectives. It's cost base කරගෙන එහෙම නැත්නම් අනිත් එක market එක base කරගෙන යනවා. මේ two extreme ends දෙක මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ. But the best thing is the combination of both. We are taking it cost එකයි market එකයි දෙකම combine කරලා තමයි අපි ඉස්සරහට ගෙනියන්නේ. So as strategies we can look at cost-based pricing strategy and the value-based pricing strategy. Value-based pricing strategy start from the market, whereas the cost-based pricing strategy start from the company and the manufacturing point of view. තියාගන්න මෙන්න මේක question වෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනක්, right? මේ step එක question වෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනක්, මේ model එක question වෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනක්. Slide number 5 and slide number 6 question වෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනක්. Right. And another area which can be questioned. The three different type of cost elements what we talk about. Three different type of cost element. One is a fixed cost, and the other one is a variable cost, and the other one is the total cost, right? So the fixed cost means what? Cost is fixed, won't change with the output of manufacturing or output of selling. විකුණන ගාන අහනවා හරි manufacture කරන ගාන අහනවා හරි වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැති cost එක තමයි fixed cost එක කියලා කියන්නේ. As an example, ඕගොල්ලෝගේ salary එක fixed salary එකක් තියෙනවා. ඔයා එකක් විකුණනද 10ක් විකුණනද 100ක් විකුණනද salary එක fixed, right? හැබැයි ඕගොල්ලෝගේ sales commission එක variable. මෙච්චරයි 10ක් විකුණනත් මෙච්චරයි 100ක් විකුණනත් මෙච්චරයි ඒවා variable. So you got to have those idea. Someone has unmuted the mic, please. Okay. Inam, you have to, right.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Inam ta gana wada koyeda, right? So right, you have to mute mic. Okay. So variable cost is the other one, right? Inam, your mic is still okay now. Variable cost is the cost which is vary with the output. Output එකත් එක්ක vary වෙනවා. දැන් අපි machine එකක් ගන්නවා manufacture කරන්න. Machine එකේ ඕගොල්ලෝ හදන්නේ කෑලි 100ද 1000ද 1 millionද. So you have incurred the cost. It is fixed, right? It is fixed. And certain cost elements we talk about, okay, sunk cost. Invest කළා ඉවරයි. ඒක එහෙනම් අපි එක වැඩක් ගන්න ඕනේ. Sunk cost. So fixed cost එක machineries වලින් කරන එක. So we have to look into that area. So අපි මොනවද කොච්චරක් sales ගේනවද කියන එක එතනදී අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ cost එක fixed. So at the other one, the variable cost, your raw material, right? There are three major elements we are talking on the variable cost. Direct labor, direct material, direct overhead. Direct labor. ඔයගොල්ලෝ 8 වසරේදී 9 වසරේදී කරේ මිනිස් දින මිනිස් පැය කියලා. man nama man days කියලා. එක මිනිස්සෙක් කරන්න එක මිනිස්සෙක් දවසකට මෙච්චර වැඩ ප්‍රමාණයක් කරනවා මිනිස්සු දෙන්නෙක් කරන වැඩ ප්‍රමාණය මිනිස් දින මිනිස් පැය. Labor, right? So and direct material, direct linked material. අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදියට, right? අපි හිතමු okay මේක මේ pen එක හදන්න උදාහරණයක් විදියට අපි හිතමු directly incurred material. lid එකට යන material එක, මේ යන ink එක, මේ ආදී plastic component එක පෑනක් හදන්න ඩොලර් 1යි නම් යන්නේ. As an example, okay, hypothetical. මේ ඩොලර් 1යි නම් යන්නේ. පෑන් 10ක් හදන්න ඩොලර් 10ක් යනවා material. හැබැයි මේක හදන්න ගන්න මෙන්න මේ clip එක හදන්න ගන්න injection molding machine එක 1 million invest කරා නම් ඒ 1 million investment. It's fixed. Pan 10ක් දාදාන්නේ 1 million pieces දාදාන්නේ, it's fixed. But raw material is a variable cost. Direct labor, direct material, and whatever other direct overheads. Let's say මේක හදන්න electricity consumption එක unit එකක් යනවා නම් එක පෑනක් හදන්න එක unit එකක් electricity consumption එක යනවා. When you multiply it by 10 pence, 10 units of electricity. Lubricants 10 units, whatever other machine wear and tear 10 units. So 10 units. So like that. Variable cost එකක් තියෙනවා. You got to have a clear idea about your variable cost. Direct අපි දෙයක් කිව්වා. Fixed cost, variable cost. So total cost is the combination of both fixed cost and the variable cost. You got to remember. You can't ignore the fixed cost. සමහර තැන්වල අපි දැකලා තියෙනවා fixed cost එක ignore කරලා යනවා. You can't do that because then how do you basically recover your capital expenditure if you ignore the fixed cost? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට capital expenditure එක recover කරගන්නේ කොහොමද? බෑ. You have to, because when you price, you always keep your selling price higher than the variable cost. financial calculation okay අපි break even එකට එමු. So these are the three cost elements: fixed cost, variable cost and the total cost. එතන fixed cost manufacturing වලට විතරක් නෙමෙයි, remember. As an example, when you are into trading business, if you are importing, right? සමහර වෙලාවට if you are talking about FCL, full container load, right? Cargo එකක් නම් LCL, loose container load නම් අපි හිතමු full container load cargo එකක් FCL shipment එකක් ගෙන්නනවා නම් even you don't complete the shipment, you have to pay for the whole container capacity. Container එකේ cubic meters දෙකක් විතර ඉඩ තියෙනවා, but you have to pay for the whole. It's fixed. මේ ඉඩ ප්‍රමාණය utilize කරේ නැහැයි කියලා කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. So it's fixed kind of a thing. So imports වලදී වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඔය ඕන තැනකදී fixed cost එකක් අපිට එන්න පුළුවන්. But you got to remember what is our fixed cost element, what are the variable cost element that is directly incurred with the price, and combination of these two only connected as the total cost of a product, total cost of manufacturing. Right. Now cost plus pricing strategy කියලා කියන්නේ cost එකට අපි margin කරනවා, right? cost එකට අපි predefined percentage එකක් add කරනවා. add කරලි ඉවරලා තමයි අපි cost plus margin cost plus pricing strategy කියලා කියන්නේ. So ඔතනදී පොඩි calculation එකක් කට්ටිය හුරු වෙලා තියෙන calculation එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් markup කියන mechanism එක. Right. Okay. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට I will tell you. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට the people try to use the margin method. You don't see much different, but financially you have a small different. Margin method. Let's say as an example, you buy for 100 rupees and you keep 20% margin and set the retail price, multiplying the 100 rupees by 1.2 or multiplied by 120%. You set the retail price. That is margin, commonly used method. A markup is little different than this, right? You look at the cost element and predefined markup percentage, you convert the to the retail price. Now, මේ calculation එකේදී අපි generally ගොඩක් කට්ටිය කරන්නේ cost එක රුපියල් 100යි නම් රුපියල් 20% margin එක තියාගන්න නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ 100ට 120ෙන් වැඩි කරනවා. වැඩි කරලා ඉවරලා තමයි margin කියන ක්‍රමය යන්නේ. but මෙතනදී කරන්නේ cost එක රුපියල් 100යි නම් right අපේ markup percentage එක උදාහරණයක් විදිහට 20යි නම් අපි ඕක කරන්නේ 80ෙන් බෙදලා 100ෙන් වැඩි කරන mechanism එකක් තියෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්න පුළුවන් මේ එතන තියෙන විදිය ඒකෙන් ඕගොල්ලෝ decide කරනවා final retail price එක මොකක්ද කියන එක. මට මේක okay, can you all see this? Variable cost plus fixed cost, you have the let me explain like this. You have the total cost, okay, unit cost. Okay, now your expected markup means what? 20% markup. Okay, අපේ margin method එකේ නම් අපි මොකද්ද කරන්නේ, right? cost එක අපි හිතමු රුපියල් 16යි නම් 20% margin එකක් නම් අපිට කරන්න ඕනේ. අපි හරිම සරලයි. අපි කරනවා 101.2න් වැඩි කරලා අපි මෙතනට දානවා. ඔක තමයි හරිම commonly used method එක, right? එතකොට දැන් මෙතන markup කියන calculation එකෙන් ඊට වඩා පොඩි වෙනසක් වෙනවා, right? අපි කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? මෙන්න මේ 16 කියන cost එක අපි okay 20% markup නම් අපි plan කරලා තියෙන්නේ 100න් ඒ 20% කියන එක 100න් ඒ 20 අඩු කරලා මේක 80යි කියලා දාලා right වැඩි කරනවා 100න්. එතකොට අපිට price එක හැදෙනවා ගාන්ට retail price එක මොකක්ද කියන එක. එතකොට මේ cost එක තමයි අපි 80 කියලා ගන්න percentage එක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා. මට මේක හරියටම කියලා දෙන්න formulas කීපයක් කරන්න වෙනවා. මේ method එකට හුරු වෙලා ඉන්න කට්ටිය මට පොඩක් අත උස්සන්න. But then I don't know whether you all do the costing or not. මේක ඔයගොල්ලෝ grade 9 maths වල කරා. Okay, grade 9 maths වල මේක කරලා තියෙනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ. සිංහල medium කරපු කට්ටිය විකුණුම හරි මොකක් හරි subject එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? මේක තේරුන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය අත උස්සන්න. මම දන්න ඔක්කොම අත උස්සයි සමහරවල්. Anyone who have not understood this? Have not understood. Okay, right. Hari. Look at this. පළවෙනි එක තේරෙනවනේ. මේක තමයි commonlyම use කරන මෙදිය. හරිද? මේක තමයි commonlyම use කරන විදිය. Markup method price එකේදී අපි කරන්නේ method එක ඉගෙන ගන්න. අපි කරන්නේ unit cost එක බෙදනවා මෙන්න මේ formula එක use කරලා. Unit markup price එක finally අපි අරගන්නේ මෙන්න මේ formula එක use කරලා. Corporate sector එකේ markup කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ විදියට. Your inventory people, your finance people are using this formula. Even if you are into retail, supermarket operation, they don't talk about margin, they talk about markup, right? Method. And what you do, you divide your cost by 1 minus the desired percentage. 1 minus desired percentage. Then desired percentage එක වාගේ 20 නම් තියෙන්නේ, right? වාගේ 20 නම් තියෙන්නේ desired percentage එක. එහෙනම් 1 minus 0.2. එතකොට 0.2 කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? This is mathematics, huh? 0.2 කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? 120යි කියන එක. 0.2 equals, I'm sorry, my pad touchpad is not there, so I have to use this. Equal this. හරිද? මේ mathematics, huh? හරිද? මේකනේ. මේක තමයි 120 කියලා කියන්නේ. හරිද? එතකොට මේක මේ උඩ එකට ගියොත් 1 minus 0.2 means what? 0.8. 0.8. Okay. Now, you are dividing by 0.8 to get the real final price. Okay. And multiplied by 100. Example එකක් කරලා බලන්න. මේකේ examples මම mathematical level එක I wonder whether you all it is activated for you all in LMS. If it is activated in LMS, you all can do couple of maths questions are there. Okay, that you all can do once you finish it. Finish the maths part. For time being, you get the formula done. මොකද මේ formula එක ඔයගොල්ලෝගෙන් check කරනවා අනිවාර්යෙන් question එකක් එන්න පුළුවන් මේ formula එක use කරලා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ formula එක මතක තියාගන්න. markup method එකේ formula එක, right? Cost එක බෙදනවා 1 minus percentage. So then you get the markup value. Then you get the final price, not the markup value. Then you get the final price. Clear? You can remember the formula. Okay, what I will do, I will release couple of questions for you all to practice yourself. We'll do like that, right? We'll do like that. And the other one, the break-even calculation. You all got to remember formulas. Make it formula. Break-even calculation also the formula you have to remember. So the break-even calculation, the formula means what? First, you got to remember what is break-even point. Break-even point කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? No profit, no loss situation in business. ඒ කියන්නේ the point where you cover your full expenditure, full cost. The point where you cover full cost. You identified as the break-even point. So you have, once you come into the break-even point, which means you have covered your cost. Whatever you get in addition, you earn profit. So how do you do that? You have to divide the fixed cost by something called contribution per unit. Okay, the contribution margin is there. Fixed cost you have to divide by contribution per unit. So contribution means what? Contribution means your selling price minus your variable cost. selling price, let's say 20 rupees. As an example, selling price 20 rupees, right? එතකොට your variable cost means what? Direct labor, direct material, direct overheads. As an example, your variable cost, right? Minus them brackets දාන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. As an example, let's say your variable cost comes උදාහරණයක් විදියට 12 rupees. Then this is your selling price 20. This is your variable cost. Once you reduce variable cost from your selling price, you get a figure that in financial terminology we identified as contribution per unit. Contribution for what? Contribution to cover the fixed cost. Contribution for what? Contribution to cover the fixed cost. A contribution එක තමයි ඊට පස්සේ profit එකට contribution එක තමයි finally අපේ profit එකටත් work out වෙන්නේ. A contribution එක තමයි finally අපේ profit එකටත් work out වෙන්නේ. So මෙතන තියෙන්නේ here you have direct labor, direct material, direct overheads, and this is the contribution per unit. In common language we call it GP කියලා කියන්නේ මේක හරිම term එක නෙමෙයි, gross profit එක කියලා කියනවා මේක මෙතනදී pricing කරනකොට මේක. ඊට පස්සේ අනිත් expenditure මෙන්න මේකෙන් තමයි අපි අඩු කරන්නේ. අඩු කළා finally product එකට තියෙන profit එක අපි මේ ටික අඩු කරනවා. Finally product එකට තියෙන profit එක අපි මෙතනදී decide කරනවා කීයක්ද කියන එක. So here break even point means what? The point where you cover your total expenditure. So which means you incur no profit, no loss situation in business. Profit ut nathi, labhat nathi situation ekak business. Okay, that is the point we identified as break-even point. And your formula is what? Fixed cost divided by contribution margin, which means what? Contribution margin means what? Selling price divided by total variable cost per unit. Now as an example, fixed cost take 1 million. If you have 1 million worth fixed cost, right? If you have 1 million worth fixed cost, 1 million and divide by contribution per unit, you get what? You get the break-even point in quantities. Break-even point in quantities. No profit, no loss situation එකට යන්න අපි units කීයක් either manufacture or sell. කීයක් විකුණන්න ඕනේද? එහෙම නැත්නම් කීයක් manufacture කරන්න ඕනේද කියන එක එන්නේ quantity වලින් මේ figure එක එනවා. Quantity වලින් figure එක එන්නේ ඇයි? මෙතන තියෙන්නේ currency එකක් rupees, මෙතන තියෙන්නේ currency එකක් rupees. Numerator and the denominator currency to currency taken off, and finally you get a figure without a currency, right? Okay, so that is how it comes. Podi mathematics you all have to learn if you are doing sales. Right? Ratios igana ganna, sales kana ratio analysis igana ganna, probability igana ganna, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division igana ganna, podi statistics ටිකක් igana ganna, mean, mode, median, frequency distribution, correlation, coefficient වගේ podi financial statistics ටිකක් igana ganna, number reading igana ganna ඔක්කොන්ටම කලින්. Right? අද ලංකාවේ ඉන්නවා මිලියන බිලියන ට්‍රිලියන quadrillion කියවන්න බැරි මිනිස්සු. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ ලංකාවේ කියලා කියන වෙන කොහෙවත් නෙමෙයි education ministry එකේ තියෙනවා million, billion, trillion, quadrillion කියන figures කියවන්න බැරි මිනිස්සු, but you all have to learn them how to read. Grade 8 9 mathematics වල තියෙනවා number reading කියලා පොතක්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න පොතක් chapter එකක්. ඒක කියවන්න. ඒකේ තියෙනවා up to a trillion. No, there you have I think up to billion, but after billion you talk about trillion, quadrillion. ඒවා ඉගෙන ගන්න. මොකද financial statements දැන් එනවා trillion because we have trillion-dollar companies in the world. So in case you get a financial statement of a trillion-dollar company, you should be able to read those figures, right? Trillion කියවන්න පුළුවන්කමක් තියෙනවා. Right? Billion කියවන්න පුළුවන්කමක් තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැතුව 1 million කියලා එක දාලා M අකුර දැම්මට හරියන්නේ නැහැ. So guys, so that is there. So මෙන්න මේ ෆෝමියුලා එක ටෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඕගොල්ලෝගේ MCQs වලට. මේක ටෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඕගොල්ලෝගේ MCQs වලට හරිද වැරදිද කියලා අහන. ඒ වගේ this is another area which can be tested. Clear? Any question there? Any question there? Anyone is having any question there? Fixed cost divided by variable cost, contribution per unit. Any question there? No. Right. I'm moving into the other two. Pricing factors based on the two different product and the market structures. Certain products we see essentials, certain products we see non-essentials. Now see, look at the fuel as an example. Price එක කොච්චර වැඩි වුණත් මිනිස්සු පොලිමේ ඉඳගෙන ගහ ගන්නවා නේ. You can't say no. Right? You can't say no. Prices are increasing, but quantity demand goes down in a very little inelastic market structure. Inelastic market structure. So we identify two different market structures, right? One is the elastic economic condition, elastic market structure, and the other one is the inelastic market structure. මතක තියාගන්න මෙහෙම මමත් ඔය ඕවා මුලින්ම ඉගෙන ගන්න කාලේ මම මේ කියන්නේ 1900 බර ගණන් වල. හරිද? මේ ඉලාස්ටික් ආමේක ඇදිලානේ තියෙන්නේ. ආයේ නම් මේ විදිය. ඇදිලා තියෙන එක ඉලාස්ටික්. ඇදිලා නැති එක ඉන්ඉලාස්ටික් කියලා තමයි මමත් මතක තියාගෙන ඉතින් ඒ විදියට මතක තියාගන්න මම මතක තියාගත්ත විදියට ගොබ්බ විදියක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. but ඒ විදිය මතක තියාගන්න then it is easy. මීට අමතරව there are two more things if you have studied econ. මම econ නෙමෙයි කරේ මම I did maths in A level. So එකක් තියෙනවා unitary elastic එහෙම නැත්නම් perfect elastic. තව එකක් තියෙනවා unitary inelastic එහෙම නැත්නම් perfect inelastic කියලා. ඒ දෙකම real නැහැ. So but there are things like that there. Maybe unitary elastic, unitary inelastic කියලා දෙකකුත් තියෙනවා. But those we don't talk about. And what we discuss here, there are certain products we sell. If our product is an essential product, even we increase the price, quantity demand comes down in a very little way. But let's say look at the same this මේ එකම volume එකෙන් තමයි price reduction එක ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ මේ in these two products. When you increase the price of this product, quantity demand drastically comes down. Non-essentials. මිනිස්සු හිතනවා නේ මේ වෙලාවේ මම ඕක ගන්න ඕනේ price එක වැඩි කරානේ. Right? But essentials price එක වැඩි කරාට පාන් කන්න නැතුව ඉන්නවද ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සු? නෑ. පාන් කනවා. Right? price එක වැඩි කරයි කියලා පාන් කන්න නැති මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවද? නෑ. Right? මට පාන් කියලා කියන්නේ මම දන්නේ අවාසනාවකට හරි ආස කෑමක්. We eat නේ. Right? price එක වැඩි කරා කියලා නොකා ඉන්නේ. So essential goods. So you got to identify whether you are selling essential or not. If you are selling non-essentials, luxuries, the moment economic recession like this, people reduce their demand. If you increase the price, they reduce their demand, right? So things goes like that. මෙන්න elastic inelastic condition දෙකේ prices change වෙන විදිය සහ market එක react කරන විදිය. So now you being a salesman, you got to identify whether you are in which market structure, whether it is elastic or inelastic. මෙන්න මේ module දෙක අරගෙන you might get a question, right? මේ module දෙක අරගෙන you might get a question. ඔයගොල්ලෝ econ කරනකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඔගොල්ලෝ ඉකොන් කරා නම් ඔගොල්ලන්ට එනවා තව right shifting curves කියලා ඒවා ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඒවා හොඳයි ඉගෙන ගන්න එක. right මේ curves shift වෙන විදිය up and down non price related matters වලදී මේක වැඩි වෙනවා මේක අඩු වෙන විදිය. so ඒවත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් it's good. Right, anyone who is doing guys, I'm having my tea me right after work in the make a product almost time. Anyone who have done finance here? කවුරුද finance කරන කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද? chartered වගේ කරන කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද? chartered වගේ කරන කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද? charter කරන කට්ටිය කවුරුද නැද්ද? Can you all hear? Can you all hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, I got a signal.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. No, I got a signal issue. Right. So any question up to now? Anyone is having any questions up to now? නෑනේ. ඔක්කොම තේරුණාද? right. දැන් හිතන්න බා මෙමය කර්මයක් තිබ්බොත් ප්‍රශ්න පහක් විතර සෙට් වෙන්නත් ඉඩ තියෙනවා. දැන් හිතන්න එපා මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වානේ මේ ප්‍රශ්න දෙකක් තුනක් එයි කියලා. සමහර වෙලාවට එක්කෙනෙක්ට ප්‍රශ්න දෙකක් තුනක් එන්න පුළුවන්, තවත් එක්කෙනෙක්ට ප්‍රශ්න පහක් හයක් එන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒ හින්දා මේකේ පොඩි මේවා ටිකක් තිබ්බයි කියලා හිතන්න එපා. You all have to do it. Right. Okay. Then there are two more pricing strategies when you look at the new products in the market. Let's say you are introducing a new product to the market, right? And when you look at new products, you have to look at certain things. For you, it may be a new, but for market, it is not a new. Competitors are already there. So, which means, are you selling an innovative product? No. You're not selling an innovative products. So, give me 1 minute. Right. So, two pricing strategies we are using for new products. One we identified as skimming strategy. You skim the market. As an example, when it comes for skimming strategy, now let's say this is your total price. This is your final price, right? This is the final price level. And skimming strategy means compared to your cost. Compared to your cost, you keep a huge margin and sell. So that strategy we identified as skimming strategy. You can do that if you are the sole supplier for the new product. You can do that. Or else you might have superior values for your product compared to the products already available in the market. Then you can skim the market and sell, which means huge. So, I mean, no competitor, you are the monopoly operator and you are the major player. You have about 40 to over 40% market share, where a number of players are there having smaller portions. So, or else you are the sole supplier, and or it is an innovative product, or it is having comparatively a unique USP, unique selling proposition, where you can margin better, margin higher. If so, yes, you can do skimming pricing strategy. And the other one, the penetration pricing strategy. Market penetration pricing strategy. Market penetration pricing strategy means what? In market penetration pricing strategy, what will happen here? Let me take this. In market penetration pricing strategy, what will happen? Compared to your cost, bottom you see the cost. Compared to your compared to the cost, you keep a little margin, but that little margin does not say loss. You keep a justifiable margin and sell the product. When you do that, what will happen? You can increase volumes. You can increase volumes. You are keeping a little margin and sell the product because your product price is competitive in the market along with your competitors, right? Or else you have a unique strategy. You identify secondary income from your product. If that is the case, you can use market penetration strategy. Now the confusion, what do you mean by the secondary income from the product? Now, as an example, I will take, okay, you're selling photocopy machines, right? You are a photocopy manufacturer, Toshiba as an example. And you identify secondary income is continuous. Secondary income is continuous. Other machine එකක් විකුණොත් ලබන මාසේ ටෝනර් දෙකක් විකුණන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟ මාසේ ටෝනර්ස් දෙකක් විකුණන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟ මාසේ ටෝනර්ස් දෙකක් වෙනවා. Multiple income comes continuously. So you see a potential income for the same from the same product for your consumables. So your intention is what? Increase the machines. අපි ඔකට කියනවා industry term එකක් MIF කියලා. MIF, machines in the field. කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද මේ වගේ products කරන කට්ටිය මෙතන? Machines in the field, MIF. Printers, photocopies, fax machines in other context. එහෙම නැත්නම් refill කරන ඔය coffee machines. So you identify, if you increase the number of machines in the field, your regular secondary income will give a healthy margin. You reduce the margin from the machine and you keep a margin from the consumables. You motivate customer to buy the machine at a lesser price and sell the consumable, keeping a healthy margin. So that also another strategy, though the competitors are there or not. If you see a secondary income, your intention is to increase the MIF machines in the field or the units in the field and expecting the secondary revenue for the product. පැහැදිලිද? Two strategies. Computer කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා නම් මේක කරන්න පුළුවන් මොනෝ අපිට අපේ product එක unique features නැත්නම් penetration යන්න පුළුවන්. So you need to have this. Any question? මේ strategies දෙකේ මොනාරි questions තියෙනවද? Any question? Anyone is having any questions? Anyone? Taggala. Yes, someone wanted to ask question, I guess. Call it. May guys, and one more thing. මේ ගොම තැම්බවල් වගේ මම කියන දේ අහගෙන ඉන්න එපා සේල්ස් කරන මම ආසම නැති එකක් තමයි ඔය සේල්ස් කරන කොල්ලෝ ඉන්නවා සේල්ස් මාකටිං බ්‍රෑන්ඩින් වගේ දේවල් කරනවා නම් කට තියෙන්න ඕනේ ෂුවර් නැති තැන් අහගන්න ඕනේ කට තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා වාචාලය වගේ කියවන එක නෙමෙයි I mean to say right so question කරන්න ඕනේ තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අහන්න ඕනේ බය වෙන්න නරකයි ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙමයි මේකෙත් සමහරලාට hidden තැන් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් අපි නොදන්න එතකොට දැන් මම මේක ෆයිනෑන්ස් කරන කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද? සමහරවිට දැන් මම අර ඉලාස්ටිසිටි එකේ මම කතා කරනකොට මම කිව්වා other than the price other factors the curves might shift කියන එක. Curves are shifting. එතකොට ඒවා ෆයිනෑන්ස් කරන කට්ටිය උගලන්ට හොඳට අයිඩියා එකක් තියෙනවා. Then they can give some idea for you. Clear නැති දේවල් තියෙනවා නම් අහගන්න අනිවාර්යෙන් කිසි දෙයක් clear නැතුව යන්න එපා because this is your learning path, right? මොකද මේවා ඉස්සරහට ඔයගලන්ට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. Right. And the another pricing strategy, product mix pricing strategy. Product mix pricing strategy. Okay, අපි දන්නවා we talk about what do you mean by the product mix first of all? Let's say as an example. අපි product mix එක ගත්තොත් එහෙම we identified the entire product portfolio within the organization. We identified as a product mix of the business. Entire product portfolio of the business is the product mix of the business. Entire product portfolio means what? Let's say you have 10 number of products, so that is your product portfolio in the business. You have 100 products, that is your product portfolio of the business. So you might have different product lines. As an example, if I take companies like Softlogic, consumer electronic is one arm, communication, mobile communication is another arm, IT is another arm, fashion is another arm, finance is another arm. Different lines of businesses. John Keels, hospitality, telecommunication and the corporate solutions. You name huge, no? Right? Agriculture, everything is there under John Keels. So those are different business lines of businesses. So when you look at the entire product portfolio within the organization, you might have different lines of businesses. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, like that. So line 1, line 2, line 3. So you might have now, let's say as example, consumer electronic policy as an example, hypothetically. You are keeping 20% margin and sale. It's a policy as an example. And you identify line 3 is a finance. Regulatory, I mean, you can't decide pricing sometimes because central bank, government authority is there. So they only set the ceiling, slabs, they only set. And they said, all right, okay, then this is the margin, savings, this is the leasing or whatever you name it, right? And you identified IT and market, highly competitive, another line of business, highly competitive, thin margin, so many gray suppliers are there. Gray suppliers like unauthorized importers are there. So about, let's say, 12% margin. Depending on the line of business, you set your pricing decisions. So product mix එක company එක කොච්චර strong portfolio එකක් තියෙනවා. Company එකේ තියෙන portfolio එකේ by looking at different lines of businesses, you set your pricing. මම නිකන් margin එක විතරක් කතා කරලා margin එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි මෙතන තියෙන entire pricing decisions. So you set your pricing decisions by looking at the product mix, product lines, right? ඒ line එකේ තියෙන depth එක කොච්චරක්ද? depth එක කියලා කියන්නේ ඒ line එකේ products කොච්චර තියෙනවද? අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට finance portfolio එකේ තියෙන products 3යි as an example. Fix another savings තියෙනවා, current accounts තියෙනවා, fixed accounts තියෙනවා, savings තියෙනවා. අපි හිතමු as an example. ඔය 3යි නම් විතරයි නම් තියෙන්නේ. Leasing නැත්තම්. So you have to play with these 3 products, right? So you need to separate policy on this. So like that, by looking at the product line of the business, you set the pricing, right? Now see, make a further elaborate color here. So when you look at the product line pricing, you got to look at another thing. Now these 4 another pricing approaches we are looking at. So let's say byproduct pricing strategy. Byproduct pricing strategy. There were one guy who was talking about the garment fabric and all these things. So you see byproduct pricing a lot there. අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදියට fabric roll එකක් අරගෙන roll එකේ අන්තිම නට්ටට එනකම්ම මහන්නේ නැහැ garment එකෙන්. සමහරලාට roll එකේ මීටර් 5ක් 6ක් ඉතුරු වෙනවා. So those are sold at a separate price. Those are sold at a separate price. එහෙම නේද? කවුද අර garment industry එකේ ඉන්න කෙනෙක්? කතා කරේ දැන් fabric ගැන. So ඒවා ඒ lot එක විකුණනවා පමුණුවට වෙන price එකකට. You are getting another income from that. Right? ඒවා authorize කළ BOI zone එකකින් සමහර වෙලාවට එළියට දානවා authorize කළා unauthorized තමයි ගොඩක් එළියට යන්නේ. මේ වෙනම income එකක් generate කරනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට I have seen companies those revenue given for their welfare purposes. But that is a revenue. And now let's say as an example, especially the manufacturing industry. අපි හිතමු gift products manufacturing industry. අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම. අපි හිතමු acrylic board එකක් ගන්නවා 8x4 like this. Right? මේ පැත්තට D8යි මේ පැත්තට D4යි acrylic board එකක් ගන්නවා. whatever the board එකක් කියලා හිතමු. ඒ board එකෙන් use වෙන්නේ මෙච්චර ප්‍රමාණයක් විතරයි. මොකක් හරි design එකකට. මේක use වෙනවා. Now this is remaining. But do you think they dispose? No, they are keeping. Samahara velawata they might get another order for a smaller design. Smaller design. They are using this part to cover, but they are charging for the entire board from the first client. And they are gaining another revenue from this. But when they are charging for the entire board from the first client, knowing that they can gain some kind of a revenue by using remaining portion, they can discount their price, byproduct pricing. Paddy husk as an example. Dahaya කියලා කියන්නේ paddy husk is a byproduct, right? Rice mill owners are selling paddy husk. If you all really want to know, ගල්පොරණු තියෙන මිනිස්සුන්ට paddy husk විකුණනවා rice mill owners ලා. ඒක ඒගොල්ලෝගේ pocket money එක, right? And I was basically consulting one of the printing supplier, right? Not the supplier, printer, large scale printer. And එකපාරක් මම යනකොට මේ අර තියෙන කොළ කෑලි මේ ඔක්කොම ලොරියකට පටවනවා. මං ඇහුවා මේ කොහෙට දාලා දෝ ගිනි තියන්න හදන්නේ කියලා. He said පිස්සුද බං? Now this is my pocket money කියලා කියලා. Now which means that, and I was just asking roughly how much he's getting. He's earning from those two lorries about 200,000. You just imagine, right, the revenue which can comes from the byproducts to the company. So I mean, he of course is taking for a different purpose, his personal again, but you can take it for the company. Right, for company. දැන් පමුණුව වගේ තැනක අර පොඩි cut pieces විකුණන්නේ මොනවද? garments වලින් ඉතුරු වෙලා එන by products විකිනේ. Kerosene is a byproduct of fuel නේ, petrol diesel. So we need to identify මේ industries ගොඩක අපිට by products තියෙනවා. So you got to identify. Captive products අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මේ රේසර් එකක් හදන්න බෑ බ්ලේඩ් නැතුව. දැන් මේ කටර් එක හදන්න නම් you need to have blade. එහෙනම් මේ let's say as an example, if the price of iron goes up, which means the blade component price is increasing. So your final product price goes up if that is the case. So captive products. Then tire ගණන් ගියා කියලා කාර් වලට මේ tire දාන්න නැතුව යන්න බෑනේ. So you're keeping you're adding those prices and sell captive products. ඒ කියන්නේ එක product එකක් විකුණන. දැන් tone එක නැතුව printer එක use කරන්න බෑ. Right? Captive products. So if you are to use that, you got to identify captive product and the optional products, right? Now let's say we see optional products, right? Okay, stapler machine එකක් ගන්නකොට කටු පැකට් එකක් නිකන් දෙනවා. Optional products, right? Stapler machine එකක් ගන්නකොට කටු පැකට් එකක්, stapler pins you are getting free of charge as an example. Okay, it's kind of a promotional bundle, right? Toothpaste එකක් ගන්නකොට toilet brush එකක් free දෙනවා. Toilet brush එක නෙමෙයි toothbrush එකක් free දෙනවා. Toothpaste එකක් ගන්නකොට so free දෙනවා. So optional, right? You can sell with the main product. So then you can set pricing. Ekak optional products with bundle price, these two are somewhat similar, right? both are into promotional based pricing approach, right? From market we can sales promotion අපි කරනකොට සමහර ලාවට right සබන්කට 10ක් ගන්න අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට එක බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකකින් සබන්කට 100ක් ගන්නකොට අනිත් බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකෙන් පොඩි සබන්කට 5ක් ෆ්‍රී දෙනවා. optional products. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ ලොකු පැකට් එකක් ගන්නකොට මේ sachet packets 5ක් ෆ්‍රී දෙනවා. optional products and the bundle products. main product එකත් එක්ක associate කරලා දෙනවා. right? So when you're deciding optional products and the byproduct campaigns, you got to be careful. Once I can remember, this is not a recent story. Late 90s, there was a huge campaign on again from a photocopy vendor in Sri Lanka, right? With a photocopy, 100,000 worth photocopy, they were giving about 1,000 rupee battery free of charge, of no use. I mean, when you're talking about a campaign, you have to make it a bit more attractive. That battery by that time, not even 1,000 rupees, about some kind of a battery pack is about 500 to 600 rupees worth. It was not attractive. So when you're deciding some kind of a pricing on using these strategies, you have to make sure your pricing strategy is finally attractive to the customer, right? Okay, any question there, the product mix pricing strategy? Any questions quickly? Optional byproducts, we were doing it, right? Any questions? Right, we are coming to the final slide. Price adjustment strategies. Price adjust karanne api ai. Why we are adjusting our pricing? Api pricing adjust karanne. Why? මට මෙතන කියන්න කවුද pricing decisions ගන්න sales කරන කට්ටිය ඉන්නේ කියලා මෙතන. Pricing decisions ගන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්නේ කවුද කියලා sales කරන කට්ටිය අත උස්සන්න. Raise your hands. Anyone who is taking pricing decisions for your business? Hirant. You are the one who said garments, nede?
Yes.
Good. Are you importing or purchasing local?
No, sir, I'm purchasing local and doing the manufacturing.
Which means okay, you're buying locally and give it for what material? You're buying?
It's like we are into bed linen.
Okay, bed linen.
So we do the bed linen side. We purchase all the hotel linen and everything. We do hotel towels, pillows, everything.
You are doing manufacturing part also, those finished products.
Manufacturing in the sense we do garment stitching and we do the manufacturing. Some of the product we do outsource it as well.
Yeah, that is okay. Nike outsource Nike. What is your brand, by the way?
It goes as Bed Comfort.
Bed Comfort.
Bed Comfort, yes.
Comfort. Okay, you are the owner there, ne?
I am the owner, and we do certain clothing store brands as well, sir.
What are those?
Like a cool brand.
chance එකක් අපුණ ප්‍රොමෝට් කරනවා. එතරම් ඉන්නවා 30ක් 40ක් විතර ඉන්නවා ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන chance එකක් දුන්නේ. What is Bed Comfort, guys? පොඩි support එකක් දෙන්න මේ call එක.
මේ දවස් ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්න බෑ සර් තියෙන pricing sir. That's the issue.
මේ දවස්වල තමයි ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ දවස්වල and you're parking at which level your product? Top, middle or low?
Mostly it might meet the top and the middle class, sir, because it's 100% Egyptian cotton and the hotel linen is like it goes at the 310 thread count, which is the highest quality one.
Enam buy වෙන්න එපා. You know, I will tell one of the example, guys. This is for you all also, right? And this economy, and I was at one of the light fitting center this evening for one of my apartment project. And there was an architect by that time, right? One of my clients, he also was there, and we were having a chat. And he said, I said, okay, my industry got badly affected because I'm into mostly on the commercial side operation. And he said, පිස්සුද බං අපේ මිනිස්සුන්ට සල්ලි තියෙනවා දැන් නම් මේ දවස්වල අපේ ගෙවල් මේ දවස්වල මිනිස්සු ගෙවල් වලට ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරනවා ඩිසයින්ස් වලට ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරනවා සෑහෙන්න කියලා. ඒක හදලා තියෙන ගෙවල් මොඩිෆයි කරන්න. ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරනවා. සෝ අපි ඒ කියන්නේ මේක එෆෙක්ට් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ බෑඩ්ලිම මිඩ් ලෙවල් එකේ ඉන්න කට්ටියට සෑහෙන්න වැදිලා තියෙනවා. මේ condition එක. පල්ලෙහාම ඉන්න කට්ටියට වැදිලා තියෙනවා. I'm not saying no, but mid level එකේ ඉන්න කට්ටියට අපි අර කියන්නේ ආතප්පාතන් නැති සිද්ධියක් වෙලා තියෙනවා කියලා. So ඒ වගේ. top level එකේ කට්ටියට ඒක ලොකුවටම වෙලා නැහැ because they have reduced the certain unwanted expenditures, but they can comfortably survive in this condition still for a shorter period. True, but still they do. People are investing still. Remember, I think luxury, or if you are talking about mid and above, talk about tourism product. Tourism anyway, it's dropped, right? Thanks to Ranil Wickramasinghe. Ranil Wickramasinghe said, you can remember it. ලංකාවට આવත් ප්ලකාඩ් එකක් උස්සන go home රනිල් කියලා කිය ඉන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කියපු ප්‍රයිම් මිනිස්ටර් කෙනෙක් නේ ඉන්නේ අපිට දැන් අවාසනාවට ඊට හිටපු එක ඊට වඩා අහපන් it's a different story, right? ඒ වගේ කතාවක් කිව්වට පස්සේ tourism එනවයි කියන එක doubtful නේ, but can't tell, right? But remember, top end market එක still you have a chance. Still you have a chance, but I'm not saying you have the same opening which used to be before this economic condition, but you have somewhat comfortable zone over there to play, right? So good. When කවුද ඉන්නේ pricing decisions ගන්න කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද මෙතන? imports costing කරන, trade costing කරන කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද? Guys involved වෙන්න ඕවට, right? price එකක් final price එකක් ඕගොල්ලෝගේ අතට එනකොට එන විදිය දැනගන්න. ඒතකොට තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට sense එකක් ඇතුව කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right, okay, price adjustments. We are coming to the final theory. Price adjustments. ඇයි අපි discount කරන්නේ? කොහොමද අපි discount කරන්නේ? ඇයි අපි allowances දෙන්නේ? Right? අපි ගත්තොත් එම we have sometimes the same product offered to two different prices for two different markets. Can I have examples? Same product, segment based pricing. Same product, but for two different prices for two different markets. Can I have examples? Someone. Same product, not a different in a decimal, right? Can I have example? හිතන්න එකම product එක මේ එකම වෙලාවේ දෙන්නෙට විකුණනවා prices දෙකකට. Guys, think. මම question එකක් ඇහුවේ මට උත්තරයක් ඕන. එකම සචින්ත්‍යා 426 සචින්ත්‍යා are you there? සචින්ත්‍යා
Yes, sir.
කොහෙද වැඩ කරන්නේ?
I'm undergraduate, sir.
කොහෙද?
Wimber University.
හරි. මොලේ තියෙන එකක් නේ. එහෙනම් කියන්න බලන්න මොකද්ද මේ කියලිවල මේ එකම ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක එකම වෙලාවේ සෙග්මන්ට් දෙකකට විකුණනවා prices දෙකකට. උදාහරණයක්. Same product you are selling for two different customers at the same time for two different prices. බිත්තර පුළුවන් ද එහෙම කරන්න, පාම් පුළුවන් ද එහෙම කරන්න, sunlight පුළුවන් ද එහෙම කරන්න. What are the products? Sachitya? Anyone? Okay. Anyone? Guys think.
Sir,
Yes.
yeah, can we take movie tickets and likewise because for the adults it's a different price and I think for children like below 15 they're charging another price.
Yes. Okay. Good point. Yes. Amavi.
Okay.
Right. Good. Yes. Movie tickets you can take as an example, right? Adults one price, but finally you watch the same movie. So, right? You go to leisure. Again the same. Then you just imagine, no, right? I mean, at least our people should keep the foreigners counter little far from the local counters, right? Now, when you keep these two counters at the same place, when you enter a location, foreigner can see our person is paying only 100 rupees to enter as an example, and he is paying about 2000 to enter. How unethical and how dirty, you just imagine, right? So at the same time you are selling the same location. මොකද foreigner ගියා කියලා වඳුරා මෙහෙම කරගෙන ඉන්නේ නැහැනේ, right? So same service you are selling. In the tourism industry, locals you have separate rate for hotels, and the foreigners you have separate rates for hotels, right? And when you are selling the product at the Sri Lankan and Balan, I mean, how our dirty people, even from the grassroots micro level business, right? තැඹිලි ගෙඩිය ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සුන්ට විකුණන රුපියල් 100ට විකුණනවා ෆොරින් කෙනෙක්ට විකුණන රුපියල් 250යි 300යි සමහර තැන්වල රුපියල් 500ට විකුණනවා. How dirty, right? So you, I mean, අපේ ලංකාවේ ඔය කේස් එකේ හින්දාම තමයි ගොඩාක් දේවල් වැටලා තියෙන්නේ. So segment based pricing, okay, two different markets. අමාවි ළඟදී අම්මලා තාත්තලාත් එක්ක ෆිල්ම් එකක් බලන්න ගියාද? එහෙමද? ඈ? Right? Okay, good. So so those are the products. And there's the geographic pricing තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මම අවශ්‍ය දේවල් ටික අවශ්‍ය කියලා කියන්නේ තේරෙන්නේ නැති දේවල් ටික. Geographical pricing කියලා කියන්නේ when you buy from a particular market, price is different. Now let's say as an example, you go to China and purchase a product and that product is expensive in Sri Lankan context. Why? Logistic expenditure you are not taking in China. China price is low, and Sri Lanka, when it comes to Sri Lanka, the price is high. The geographic pricing, right? So different. When you buy it, and take the local context, when you buy from Colombo, one price. When you are delivering to Jaffna, it's another price because the transportation cost is there. So the two different prices based on the two different geographic locations. And the other one, the psychological pricing, in the sense, okay, here. You can see, okay, when you see less number of digits, අපි කියනවා 99යි කියලා. රුපියල් 999යි. මෙන්න මේක තමයි ලංකාවේ තියෙන common level එක. රුපියල් 999යි කියලා price එකකට ගන්නවා. Then psychologically how it is happening, the ගොඩක් මේගොල්ලෝ කියනවා මේක barter pricing කියලා ඉවලා. මොකද barter slippers, barter brand is commonly with this 999. So that is because of the 9th generation. You study the barter brand history, then you will remember the reason why they are using the 9 as a pricing thing. So මේම දැම්මම reason එක තමයි, the moment by looking at price is less, it's less number of digits. Less number of digits. 1000 කිව්වහම ඉලක්කම් 4ක් price එකක් දකින්නකොට you feel it is expensive, but you are ultimately paying 1000, right? මොකද මේ less මේක 9999 එනකම් යන්න පුළුවන්, but you ultimately pay 1000, but you play with the consumer psychology here, right? That is one thing. And the other one, psychological pricing, හැමතිස්සෙම මේ digits වලට limit වෙන්නේ. Okay, I will tell the other way. People like to talk about their salary and the remuneration is in digits. I'm getting 6-figure salary, I'm getting 7-figure salary, I'm getting 4-figure salary. That is how they talk, right? So which means what? By looking at the number of figures, they show how strong their income කියන එක. So අන්න ඒක. Okay, අනිත් එක තමයි psychological pricing වල okay තියෙන අනිත් එක තමයි, it is connected with the product quality, guys. Remember, when you increase the price, people might think අම්මට ඒක හොඳ quality එකක් වෙන්නේ නැති. එහෙනම් ඒකයි මේකේ price එක වැඩි, right? ඒකම තියෙනවා එළිය අඩු price එකකට, right? So price connected with the quality of the product. So that is why people, I mean, it changed the psychology of the consumer thinking pattern connected with the product quality. I will tell as an example, if you get a BMW at a Toyota price, right? අපි හිතමු BMW 520 series එකක් දෙනවා, කියනවා alright okay Axio එකේ price එකට තියනවායි කියලා. You might wonder මේක engine එකවත් තියනවද දන්නේ නැහැ මම මේ price එකට දෙන්න කියන එක. It is connected with the quality name, because කවදාවත් ඒ product එක ඒ price එකට එන්න බෑ, මොකද price එක එහෙනම් ඒ quality එකට හරියන price එකක් තියෙනවා. So like that, psychological and pricing strategy එක ඒ පැත්තත් බලපානවා. So dynamic pricing, anyway, it's keep on changing. You are changing the pricing, right? Price adjustments continuously you do. This period, we see dynamic pricing, right? Price which was there yesterday is not the price today, right? Dynamite ගන්න වෙලා තියෙන දැන් මුන්ට ගිහිල්ලා මේ කරන වැඩ ටිකට, right? Dynamic pricing, it's keep on changing. Dynamic කියලා කියන්නේ it's keep on changing කියන එක, continuously changing pricing. So how you adjust yourself based on the dynamic conditions in the market which is very volatile, you got to have. International pricing, yeah, you talk about, okay, imports and exports, right? The product what you sell in the local context is not the product what you sell, I mean, not the price you sell in the export context, in the sense foreign market. So different, the same product, once again, international pricing. And as I said before, certain companies are keeping their pricing level to maintain the brand equity and the brand values. They don't want to go into the discounting policies, no matter what happen. I will tell one example. 2008, 9, 10, if you all can remember the global financial crisis, which due to the USA crisis, most of the global brands got affected because of the financial crisis. And Nike was playing nicely in that financial crisis. When all the other brands stopped promotions, Nike was reduced the promotion budget but didn't stop the promotion budget. So what happened when the global economic crisis goes down like this, right? Crisis is a short term period, but Lanka crisis නම් මම දන්න තව අවුරුදු 10කටවත් එළියට එන්න බැරි වෙයි සමහරලාට මේ යන විදියට. I'm not an economist to comment on it. Crisis එකක් ගත්තොත් economic downturn is usually a short term එහෙම ගිහින්. So මෙතනදී මෙන්න මේ downturn එකකදී අපි visible නැත්තම් අපේ brand එක visible නැත්තම්, right? මොකද වෙන්නේ economic growth එකක් එනකොට මිනිස්සුන්ගේ mind එක අපේ තියෙන share of mind is less for our brand. So when the share of our mind is less for a particular brand, our top of the mind recall capacity, ඒ කියන්නේ අර මොකක් හරි කියපු ගමන් ටක් ගාලා මතක් වෙන capacity එක, top of the mind recall capacity is going down, and because of that final purchase decision will reduce for that particular brand. So what will happen when you stop completely with the economic recession? What will happen? The people will forget your brand, and when they have money, they don't know your brand. The mind is not, I mean, your brand is not there in the mind share. So what will happen? You will not get the benefit out of the economic boom, right? Recession එකේදී ඕගොල්ලෝ නවත්තලා හිටියොත්. So what you have to do, you have to continue your communication as a salesperson, but you may not be in the same frequency, but you are continuously communicating where you can expect the positive return during the economic boom. Unexpectedly, if ඔගොල්ලෝ study කරොත් Nike එක ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා මේකෙදී අපි communication එක තියගෙන හිටපු හින්දා, though it is not in the same frequency, they got very good results during the economic positive turn. මෙන්න මේක අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ. කියන්නේ global pricing කරනකොට we should be careful. සමහරවිට global recessions වලදී අපි react කරන විදිය අපි සමහර වෙලාවට දැන් මම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට සමහර companies වලට කියන්නේ නවත්තන්න එපා advertising, zero කරන්න එපා, you communicate, continue, but reduce the budget. Perfectly okay, but reduce the budget and continue your campaigns because you need to use the same budget what you have been using over a period. So price adjustments අපිට මේ විදිහට කරන්න පුළුවන්. Discounts allowance, I don't want to talk about discounts allowance, ඒක මහ ලොකු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. Segment based pricing I was talking about, different industries you have this. Psychological price I was talking about. The promotional pricing we were talking about, again you are talking about either bundling, discounting, or campaign related pricing. Geographical pricing we were talking about. The dynamic pricing we were talking about. It's keep on changing. මේ හැම එකක්ම එකම ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකකට බලපාන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකත් මතක තියාගන්න. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ කියලා හොයන්න පාඩේ මගේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකට මේක නෑනේ, මගේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකට මේක නෑනේ කියලා. These are usual common patterns, common adjustments methods what you use. Sometimes it might not suitable for your industry. මොකද සබන් කැලලක් segment based pricing වලට යන්න බෑනේ මේවා කරන්න. අර ඒ වගේ. Okay. So guys, yeah, that is pricing, and we have completed another chapter. Any question? Any question? Any question? Anyone is having any questions? Anyone is having any questions? I need to stop anyway now. Prashna tibbat natat I have to go. So, any question? Taggala. Anyone? Guys, I'm getting assignments, which is really good, but I want others also to focus and do the assignment and get things going. Let's complete somehow by end of June this everything and go for your qualification. Right. Any question? And I need a small in the sense we need a small favor from your side. I'm requesting guys, we are working on a particular project, and for that we need some Google reviews from you as a support. Honest feeling what you're getting about KDC. හරියට කරනවා නම් කරනවා කරන්න නැත්නම් කරන්නේ නැහැ මූ පිස්සු ගෙන්නනවා පිස්සු ගෙන්නනවා අපේ උන් පිස්සු ගෙන්නනවා පිස්සු ගෙන්නනවා honest feeling whatever reviews we need some reviews LinkedIn FB and Google, especially Google. We need couple of reviews from your side as a support. As a support, I'm requesting from you all. If you all can, I will ask Samadhi to share the review link for you all. If possible, please give a Google review and FB review for KDC, because we are working with a couple of universities for some recognition for these qualifications. So for that, we need your support, because they are looking for all these things, and your feedbacks are valuable for that. And it's a humble request. And not only that, it will be good if this qualification get recognized by a couple of universities for you all to go for different further education. So that is the purpose, like what we did with CIM. Since now you all can do CIM level 6 straight away with this qualification, which is really good. So like that, we are working with some more couple of universities for the same purpose, to get the recognition for the qualification. For that, we need Google reviews, your feedbacks, more than in a separate paper in Google document. So please, as a favor, do it for us. And it's a humble request once again. And I will tell one of our guys to share you all the link in the group. Please do so if possible. We are not pressurizing you all, but as a favor, please do so. And it's a request. Right. So any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Anyone is having any questions? Okay, seems no. Right, guys, tomorrow we will be meeting and we will be completing the marketing mix, other element, the promotion element, and Sunday we can start the planning part. So don't miss. Tomorrow, marketing communication one, you will get significant number of questions for your paper. Making monkey adu nada marketing communication again, questions keep ya. Very good. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. All the best, guys.
Thanks, sir. Good. Have a pleasant night.
Good night, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
And